Hello and welcome along to Matchday Live. Preview brought to you by Standard Chartered. We are live from Anfield on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter and TikTok. Jay Spearing and Natasha Dowie are here with us at Anfield as well as we build up to another huge Premier League game today. Over the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be talking about Liverpool's home comforts, Arsenal and the title race, and speculating on what kind of changes Jurgen Klopp might make to his starting lineup for today. Before we get into that, let's take a look at the current state of play. I know it's not always made great reading, but 3 points will certainly make it better. 13 off the pace as things stand, with 10 games to go. Must-win game, of course, if Liverpool are at least to stay in touch with the Champions League places at the moment. We're feeling effervescent. It might have something to do with the Easter eggs this morning, but we're plenty optimistic about what might happen today, Jay. And being back here already makes people feel as though things are maybe going to turn around a little bit.
It does. First of all, I've had a busy morning eating plenty of eggs and it was enjoyable. But this afternoon I'm looking forward to a good game. I think the atmosphere will be electric. We always know these games against Arsenal at home are always ones that start well, start quick. I think over a history of time, when we've played Arsenal at home, we've been on the front foot. The crowd have got right behind us, and we've come out with the positive results, and that's what I'm believing today. We
were talking about it yesterday, you and I. The last time we were here was Man United, 7-0, and what has been 3 defeats and a draw since then. It changes the picture quickly, doesn't it, as to what we're looking at now, I think.
Yeah, it really does. Liverpool's form at home speaks for itself, and in front of this Anfield crowd, you always fancy Liverpool. Yes, it's been an up and down season, but you really fancy them. Arsenal are under huge pressure today. It's a must-win for Liverpool, but yeah, I'm really confident, like Jay said. I think they're going to turn it on today, and it's going to be a great one.
I know we revelled in Manchester United and what it offered us, but this is what can happen at Anfield from time to time. We hope that there's a sample of this today.
I'd take half of that today, maybe 3 or 4-0, I'd 100%. And that's what Liverpool can turn up, and that's what we can do. And the fans are going to be a huge part in it, but the players first and foremost have got to go out and give absolutely everything to go and get a result. And listen, you go into a season right at the start and you want your home form to be your fortress. You want people to come here and be scared to come here, and that's exactly what we've got to take to Arsenal today.
Is that almost deliberately why he mentioned it, Tash, in his press conference? He knows that the players are devoid of confidence at the moment. This place can really help them today.
Yeah, you know, he said that confidence is the issue, and he's asked the Anfield crowd to get behind the players today. But I think this Liverpool team has goals in them, so that's surely going to bring confidence. The likes of Mo Salah, Nunes, Gakpo, they've got goals in them. It's just been defensively as a unit where we struggled this year, so that's where we need to tighten up today. But I think you're always going to go into games positive when you know that you've got goal scorers in the team, and Liverpool have that.
This home form, Jay, I'm just looking at it now, it's the 4th best in the league. 9 wins, 3 draws, a defeat, 30 points to a possible 39. Almost faultless, really.
And it doesn't surprise me, to be honest. We want this to be our fortress, like I've already mentioned, and we want to win games. And with the crowd that we have here and how we play at Anfield at home, it's an incredible way of playing. But like Natasha's mentioned, our away form has been up and down, which we've obviously seen over the last couple of weeks, especially that we haven't gone away of form as we have done over the recent years, and we found it a bit of a struggle. But coming home, it's what we're looking forward to, and we want a positive result today.
And you've been in that position. You've been in Liverpool teams that have been struggling for form. What does it feel like here when it's going for you? He's talked this week about celebrate the first tackle, celebrate it like it's a goal. It gets the place going.
Them small wins can gain huge amounts of confidence in games. That first tackle, that first pass, the first header, anything that will go and give you a little bit of confidence. And if you're feeling that you're in a little bit of a sticky situation, the best thing to do is go and receive the ball and make a 5-yard pass. It doesn't have to be a 40-50-yard worldy pass to try and split the defence open. That 4 or 5-yard pass will get you slowly back into the game and gain you confidence in the game too.
We've heard that word mentioned so many times. As professional footballers, how fragile can that situation be? From being the best player in the world one day to, you know, it seems like weeks later you feel completely devoid of it.
Yeah, football's a fickle world. You know, we've both been in it. You know, as a centre forward, when you're scoring goals, you know, you're front page of everything, and then you go 3 or 4 games without a goal and you're not getting spoken about. So mentally you have to be so strong. But you know, I can only imagine what it would be like to play in front of this Anfield crowd. And I think that's the great thing about our supporters, is that even when things aren't going great, they still get behind the players. They never stop singing. It's not one of those hostile crowds that they get on their players when things aren't going well. That's not Anfield. You know, they're always so positive. So I think the players need to use that. And the stats, you know, are encouraging. And we were talking earlier how opposition don't like to come to Anfield. So even though Arsenal are top of the league, flying at the moment, 5 points clear, you know, all they've been speaking about Arteta is how actually he dreads coming coming here, really. So I think that's another massive, factor for Liverpool.
Well, we saw it. You might have seen it as well in the documentary. He talked about paralysis, being here as a player and almost giving up because the power of the place was that great. He couldn't see a way out of it. It was very public, that.
Yeah, he was open about it as well. And many players, it's not just him that have mentioned that over the years about Anfield and how you can feel pressured, you can feel suffocated when you're on that pitch, and how this crowd can kind of pull you into where you feel as if there's nowhere to go. And the Liverpool team have to take full advantage of that, and we have to get on top of Arsenal and make it as difficult this afternoon as we can.
And how can managers be in that situation? I suppose they're all different, aren't they? But you probably don't need telling when you've had a bad game or you're in a bad moment. He said this week again that it might surprise people that I'm quite calm as a manager because I see everything.
Yeah, listen, for me, he's unbelievable in what he's done. He's been an absolute revelation since he's joined the club, and he understands exactly where his team is. He understands where he is. He understands where his backroom staff is, and he understands the whole situation that this club is in. And if he's calm, then I think we should all be calm too, because he knows what to do. He's paid by the owners to come in and be the good times, but also be the bad times. And listen, we're in a little bit of a roller coaster right now, but there's only looking forward with the boss.
What is the best way to deal with you as a footballer if you're going through a bad patch, collectively or individually as a player?
I think for me, I've always been a big one on practice. If I'm going through a bit of a patch where I'm not scoring goals, I get back on the training ground, I'm in early, I'm the last one off the pitch. I'm practicing those situations so that come that next opportunity, I put the ball in the back of the net. And, also recap on the good times. Think about, what am I as a player? I've been there, I've done it. I've always scored goals, and just because I'm going through a tough period doesn't mean then I've become a bad footballer overnight. But like I said, mentally, you really do need to believe in yourself individually, and have that small circle around you that, has your back, and try not to listen to the outside world. And it's not easy, winning, it becomes habit, and it helps with momentum. And when you do get into that drought, it's very hard. It's not just going to come overnight. And these Liverpool players for the last 4 or 5 years have been really performing near perfection. So now to see them maybe performing like this, it's hard. So we just need to get behind the boys today. The crowd do. The boys need to believe in themselves. And like I said, I'm really confident. I've got a good feeling about today.
Just that thing about shutting off outside noise is intriguing, because it's a changing culture for these players. It must have been nothing better as a player when you win a game to go on Twitter, see the plaudits and everything else. At the moment, you probably need to stay away from it a little bit. In the old days, they'd say don't buy the papers, whereas now it's everywhere.
Yeah, the old days, and even in my day, there wasn't much Instagram or there wasn't much Twitter or anything like that, so you didn't really see anything. You seen the paper scores, and you would look at them and think, oh, why does he think that? But nowadays, you're getting crucified on anything, any social media, and you've got to be careful. And like I say, as a player, I think they've got to believe in everything that they've done. I think that they haven't turned bad players overnight. They are incredibly talented players. They're just at the minute in a bit of a form where things have gone a bit sticky, but trying to block out anything that's gone on the outside world is probably the best way of doing it, because it needs to be done, because what you've got to concentrate on is just that 90 minutes on the field, and that's where you're getting paid for, and that's what you need to get ready for.
What else is intriguing is looking at Arsenal at the moment, Tash, isn't it? We've been through this as Liverpool fans before. You can see the chasing pack. Arsenal have never been in this position before, so have they got the fight? Have they got the hunger and the quality to last the whole way?
It's funny, isn't it? Because I feel like pretty much all season people have been saying Arsenal will eventually flop. It'll be the Arsenal of old, where when the pressure comes, they're not going to be able to handle it. But every single week they just keep performing. They keep, getting results, and they're not just scraping results. They're really, dominating games and getting big score lines. And City are obviously close on their trail, but the football they've played this year, they deserve to be where they are. They've been the best team in the Premier League by far, and it's been a funny year in general because of the World Cup. But credit to them. Arteta's got them playing great football, and what he's done there, is phenomenal. So you would like to think if they win today, you'd be confident that the titles may be theirs now. Let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope we can spoil the party.
Jamie Carragher spoke about it this week, didn't he? That sometimes wins are worth more than 3 points. If Arsenal were to come to Anfield today and win, it would convince the remaining doubters, wouldn't it, that they've got?
I think it would put the psychological effect on City that go to. It would put them on the back foot and make City think, oh wow, they are actually real contenders. They are looking to get this over and done with early doors. And just like Natasha mentioned, Arsenal have been phenomenal this season. They've been extraordinary in what they've done. They've played a certain way. They've not come away from it. And I think in the last 5 games in the Premier League, they've scored over 3 goals a game. So going forward, they are a real threat. And Liverpool are going to have to be switched on today if they need to get a result out of this.
They always say to talk on the telly about what people are talking about in the pubs or the press room. We've all been talking about it. 6 changes against Chelsea. What does he do with the team today? Jurgen Klopp?
6 changes again, probably. In my opinion, I think you'll probably look to bring back Robertson and Trent and Virgil, 3 at the back. I'd probably look to bring Milner in just for that experience in these high-pressure games. I think his experience is invaluable, and I think he does a good job always, can always rely on him, and I'd keep Henderson in. And then I'd probably look to bring as well Harvey Elliott into the team. And then the front 3 for me, obviously Mo, Gakpo and Nunes. I love Gakpo's work rate, Nunes' work rate. They're all so positive, direct, and I think we need that today. I think we need to get at this Arsenal team.
Jay, how do you differ or agree with those debates there?
Well, just quickly looking at Natasha's there, I think we're very similar on the front line. We agree that I felt that with the front 3 that played against Manchester United here, that they worked really well together, with obviously Gakpo dropping into midfield. I think the back 4 we touched on again, that we agree on bringing obviously Trent back, Van Dijk back and Robertson. But for me in midfield, I think that Henderson, the leader, the skipper, he always brings that intensity into these big crucial games that I've seen many times before, that he sets the tone, that you're talking about that first tackle, that first head, that he's the one that goes and gets after. And for me, I'm sticking with Curtis Jones as well. I felt that at Chelsea, even though it was his first real start back in, I felt he really composed himself and he had a lot of good touches on the ball, and I felt he did well. And for me, I think with consistency and playing games for him, I think he could have a really good positive season for Liverpool.
I noticed both of you have not gone with Thiago, albeit you'd have been tempted, I suppose, if you were picking the team today. We hope we see him at some point, obviously. What will he offer this Liverpool team when he's back in it, do you think?
I've missed him so much. Every time you watch him play, he's just like a magician. He can see a pass. He has eyes in the back of his head. He just makes everything look so easy. It's like he's dancing with the football. And yeah, we've missed him massively. So if he can get on the pitch today, I think that'll be huge for Liverpool. He can dictate the game. And I think that's what we miss sometimes. Someone to slow the game down when it's a little bit manic, but also someone then actually to speed the game up as well. And his passing range is phenomenal. He sees things that really no other midfield player in our team sees. So honestly, if he's back on the bench today, I think as well psychologically that will be a massive boost for us. And also if Arsenal see him on the bench, they'll be worried. And
he did say Luis Diaz is more suited to coming back against Leeds. Is there half a suspicion that he might be involved in that squad today?
I'd love to see him again, just on what Natasha's mentioned on Thiago there, the confidence that it will give the squad to know that they have them 2 types of players on the bench. The crowd, they give the crowd a huge lift, but it'll also give the boss a big lift as well. And seeing him back, he had an unbelievable start to the season for us, didn't he? He was scoring goals, he was causing carnage wherever he cut inside, he'd go down the line, and the opportunities he created. So we've really missed that. I think that's this season, and to have him back, to have them 2 players back, is a massive boost going into the game.
I keep nervously looking over Jay's shoulders because those sprinklers are getting closer, but we get looked after here at Anfield. If this was an away ground, we'd all be drenched now. Natasha's going to go and do a bit of reporting for us today before
really
you
excited.
go up with Steve.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's my first time, but yeah, maybe I'll be taking your role someday.
Careful now, fighting talk within the panel today. That is it from us. Tash is going to be swapping places with David James a little bit later on for Matchday Live. We're on the air from 3:25. We'll bring you team news there, of course, as well as it breaks at 3:30. And there's live audio commentary, every kick as it happens at 4:30. Tash will be dashing up the ladder there with Steve Hunter onto the gantry, and then at full time bringing you interviews with Jurgen Klopp and the players in Matchday reaction for you there as well. More content to point you in the direction of on LFC TV Go. That'll have highlights available to watch from 8:30 tonight. The whole match then will be available to watch on demand from midnight. Do look out for Inside Anfield on YouTube and Facebook tomorrow. That's where all the best behind the scenes action comes your way. You won't be able to find that anywhere else. In the meantime, thanks for joining us. Lots to look forward to. Stay with us across LFC's different platforms for comprehensive coverage of Liverpool against Arsenal. For all of us here, bye-bye for now.